today we are looking at the fifth commandment specifically as it relates to parenting teens. For those of you who are in this camp, I want to say I think there are a handful of ways that this is harder now than it's been in the past. Our culture has lost almost all rites of passage, and so it can be difficult to know when you're supposed to treat your adolescent like an adult, when they become an adult. It's very confusing to lots of people, especially to the child and to the parents. Additionally, it's complicated because we have extended adolescence in both directions. 100 years ago, if adolescence is defined as that period that begins with biology and ends with sociology, begins with when the sexual maturation begins to take place, and it ends when you are standing on your own, sort of financially independent. If that's the period of adolescence, 100 years ago, girls would start into sexual maturity, would menstruate first time at 14, 15, and they'd be married at 16 or 17. So there's like almost no time between sexual maturation and adulthood, marriage, independence. Today, menstruation often starts at 12, can start in some cases because of better nutrition or hormones, whatever. Lots of theories about why it keeps getting earlier and earlier. It happens, at 10 sometimes. People are not getting married till much later, late 20s, early 30s. You've got a long period of time when somebody is sexually mature but not sociologically moving as an adult. Then technology has tended to change things on this front as well, all of which says that it is a confusing moment to understand when somebody stops being a child and starts being an adult, and this is complicated. And I'll just go on record as saying, if you say that adolescence ends when somebody has reached a point of responsibility, they're thinking clearly, they have some identity formation, they're financially independent. I mean, I know a lot of 30 and some 40-year-olds who are not functioning as adults. So it's more complicated. And I'll just say it's a challenging time for parents as well as for adolescents, because part of what the adolescents need to work on, if they're going to become independent, is they need to work on independence, right? And if you want them to develop critical skills of thinking, if you want them to be able to be savvy about when they're being misled and hypocrisy in thinking, they're going to practice critical thinking and hypocrisy identification on you, and they're not necessarily always going to be very good at it. And so there can be some difficult, intense moments between parents and children, or adolescents. And I just want to say, it's generally a good idea for one person in the family to maintain their wits about them and to not get angry and to think lovingly and graciously and cautiously. And so it's always a good idea if either the parent or the adult is acting like an adult, and obviously that ought to be you. Now that means that there's some difficult moments. I get it. I wish it would be otherwise, but part of what will help is just understanding they need to become independent. Part of the reason they may take an opinion is because it's different than yours, not because it's very good. And you need to learn how to graciously navigate those moments. It's hard. Pray. Decide that you're going to be loving and patient. Support each other. Small groups can be great for this. Small groups can be a place where you have other adults who can help parent your kids when you are having a difficult time, maintaining an easygoing relationship. Have a good day.